Hey nerds, Farmer Jesse here, back again this week with another video with our friends at Greenacres Foundation in Ohio. We obviously featured them last week in this awesome video, but essentially Greenacres is a research farm that was founded in 1988, and the Greenacres Foundation is dedicated to education in agriculture, the environment, and the arts, with ecology and agricultural research supporting their mission. I love it because it's kind of like my dream to have a big farm with researchers running around, but that also trains people to farm. And so that last part is what today's video is going to be on, their apprenticeship program. How it works, how it's evolved, and some of the little details that may get lost in the shuffle. And so, without any further rambling from me, let's let the manager of operations, Ian Zeglin, break it all down for us. So let's do it.
My name is Ian Zeglin. We're here at Greenacres. Greenacres is an organization that is really focused on education in the realm of arts, environment, and agriculture. On the agricultural side of things, one of our most valuable projects that we're working on is our Apprentice program. Our Apprentice program is a 2-year program, full-time. It is a paid program, and the goal is that we have people who are passionate about growing, give them a space to learn, to try new things, to learn all the different crops that we grow, and after 2 years, hopefully they're able to either get a job on a farm pretty easily or run their own is kind of the big goal of the apprenticeship. The general format of the apprenticeship has evolved over the 4 to 5 years we've been doing it. It began as an internship, which was just a summer program. We split our time between our livestock department and our vegetable production department, and we got people a lot of experience on the farm, but didn't necessarily generate the deep knowledge and deep understanding of farming that we wanted. We got a lot of the how to do farming, but not a lot of the why. And so over the years, what we evolved to develop was a 2-year program. And the reason for that being 2 years is that I really personally believe that it takes 2 years to get someone a really solid understanding of vegetable production. For anyone that has had their first year in a market garden, it's a whirlwind, a complete whirlwind. Everything kind of just seems to be coming at you. Our experience with our apprentices is that is very much so what it feels like, is this kind of, the farm is coming at you at all times, because you have no points of reference and you have no understanding of kind of exactly how the season's gonna go. And so what we kind of have landed on is first year is like exposure. It's like see everything on the farm, get through the whole season, see all the crops, ask all the questions you want. And then the second year is really where you hone your skills. So you're given more management tasks, you're given a plot of between anywhere from 10 to 15 permanent beds to kind of manage in whatever way you want to manage them, and then kind of let them kind of run that program, run their own little farm on that land. And we found so far that is a model that works really well. I've actually found that generally the first month and a half of the second year of kind of during the production season, apprentices learn almost more than they did the whole first year.
Yeah, it's funny because I had a chef once tell me that it always took a year to even learn, to start learning. Like
yeah.
When he would go to a new restaurant.
That's a great way to say it. It takes a year to start learning. The why is such an important part of farming, and it comes slowly over time. And I think that we can accelerate that through actual classroom time. And if there's anything that is hard to do on a farm, it is to pause in the middle of the season for classroom time. It's really, really difficult, but we found that making time for it is an essential part of the program. We actually developed an entire curriculum around classroom time that we implement specifically at certain times throughout the season. We kind of landed on 4 categories that we feel are important for young or budding farmers to kind of get some skills in. That's crops is one of the categories, soil, people, and money are kind of the 4 larger categories that we then break down things within to kind of get as good of an understanding on that first year as possible for a young farmer. So apprentices are full-time positions. They are, first year, they're really kind of attached at the hip to some of our full-time staff members. In terms of responsibilities, they're given a number of jobs that are easy to do, and can kind of help them hone some skills. We make sure that they get opportunities to work with customers. I think that's an important part. That's the kind of people aspect of our program. And generally they just, for that first year, are learning and working in a kind of what you would expect from an apprenticeship. So one of the things that we think is really important is a lot of people show up to farming excited. And that excitement might be about something specifically that they've seen, that they feel passionately about. I've seen now a number of times people come in passionate about one thing and actually find that during their time growing they're actually passionate about something totally different. That's not always the case, but sometimes it is. And so to build a really solid program that is training young farmers in the way, in terms of like helping them follow what they want to do after the apprenticeship's over, we want to make sure that we're exposing them to as many different facets of agriculture as possible. And currently the two really main ones we do for the vegetable production program is the vegetables, but also our cut flower program. Cut flowers are definitely like a popular topic in market gardening right now. I think there's some really, really cool things happening in that space and some really incredible growers that are pushing kind of no-till flowers and local flower production to kind of a new level. And so we have a robust but young flower program. It's only 4 years old. But we want to make sure that if you come here to this farm and you are passionate about flowers, that you can kind of hone your apprenticeship. You're going to do everything on the farm. That's just the way a farm works. Everyone's got to do everything. But you can kind of hone your skills on the flower side of things if that's what you want. You can hone your skills on the vegetable side of things if that's what you want. A lot of times we find that in the second year, people kind of start to pick something that they feel passionate about, and we try and make sure that they have the time and bandwidth to kind of pursue that as much as possible. So if we're doing flower harvest for the day and veg harvest, if you love flowers, you're going to be on flower harvest every time during the second year, because we think it's really important for you to get all those skills that you really want. This place is an incredible learning area for young farmers, and we want to make sure that people can get the most out of it.
Hey, hi, it's me. There were a couple things that we didn't get to in our conversation that we wanted to make sure and show, because there are other cool things that they've added to help enrich this program that we just didn't get to touch on. One, they've created this book they call the Green Book that is updated every winter and is basically a 250 plus page manual of how they do most of what they do. Apprentices get a copy of the book when they arrive that they get to keep and take with them once they finish with the program. Another thing they do is go on 3 to 4 field trips to other farms. In fact, they came here this spring for one of our farm tours, so that was awesome. That's where I kind of got to know them. And 3, one day a year, they bring representatives of the NRCS and USDA to the farm with the intention of helping apprentices understand the support they can receive from those specific organizations. Things like what loans are available to them, help with business plans and grants are all kind of subjects that they cover. There's not footage of that. I don't know that it would be very interesting, but that is just one way they are really bolstering the education there. Anyway, back to Ian.
So in the winter, that's the hardest part of keeping an apprentice on full time. And there's only one winter that the apprentices stay. In their first year, they stay over the winter into their second year. By the time winter shows up for the second year, they're graduated from the program. So we have one winter with our apprentices, and we want to make sure we use it well. Winter is definitely a time for recovering and recouping and planning, and we make sure that that for sure happens. But generally, most of the winter is spent planning the apprentice production plot. We have them figure out what the goal of their plot is. We've seen things from a homesteading plot to a cut flower farm plot to a plot that is specifically for restaurant accounts. It's kind of like that goal. And so we've kind of seen these different goals of these plots. We have them build like a very rough business plan, just kind of like a, hey, this is what I would ideally be selling to, or what I would ideally be doing with this land. And then we have them plan that production for the season. Planning a farm is really hard, especially if you have just one season of production and that's it. And so the process of learning how to plan a farm is difficult and kind of arduous for your first year. And so we support them through that, and we answer questions, but we always say we want you to struggle but not fail. And so a lot of the winter is spent doing that. We have a whole entire curriculum that we kind of use to educate people all winter. We watch videos. And we also have a really wonderful greenhouse that we're able to kind of get farm skills honed or better during the winter and keep people busy and keep doing production that time of year. The foundation that the Nipperts set up is to conserve the land that we are on and preserve it. And one of the things that was inherited in this land was an old estate that was like what would be considered an old gentleman's farm. Hunting, foxes, big greenhouse, orchards, there was stables and pig barns and all kinds of really actually incredible old farm infrastructure. When Greenacres took this property over, a lot of that infrastructure is in disrepair. One of the things we did was rebuild it, and now it's some of our main areas for education. You know, we do the apprentice program and we teach young farmers, but it's also a huge part, and if not the biggest part of what we do to educate children. We have this old estate that we use for art education. We have the greenhouse that we use for agricultural education. It's become a really exciting asset for us, though it is a 1940s greenhouse, and so there are some limitations with it. But generally we use it for as much education as we can, whether that's children, apprentices, or tours and whatnot. Our only outlet that we have on this farm is our farm store. There's a few reasons for that. One is because our main goal is education, and every time someone comes to the store, it gives us a nice opportunity to educate people. We have a lot of events that we do that we want people to come to, and so we try and recruit people for events at our farm store. One of the things about our farm store is that because we are a nonprofit and we are a foundation, we don't do farmers markets because we're not really interested in competing with farmers. We want to be an asset to farmers. We want to be a resource for them, and so we focus all of our sales at our farm store, and like I said, that is how we can get education done, and we are able to staff that sometimes with our apprentices, like once a week or so, and give them the opportunity to kind of interact with customers as well, because that's a really hugely important part of farming. Growing it is one thing and selling it is a whole different thing, for sure. You can keep up with us on our website. You can apply for the apprenticeship at our website. That opens up in the winter, generally around December, and that website is green-acres.org.
All right, how awesome is Greenacres, right? Huge shout out to Ian and to Jen Langdon, who provided me with much of the additional footage you saw. I will post links for Greenacres in the show notes so you can ride along as they continue to build this awesome project. And I'm sure we will be hearing more from them in the future. Like this video if you like this video. If you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, you're awesome. Support our work by picking up a copy of the Living Soil Handbook or other merch from no-tillgrowers.com. Become a Patreon member at patreon.com/no-tillgrowers, or just hit that super thanks button. That works too. Otherwise, super thanks for watching. We'll see you later. Bye.
That's fine. You can just say we're here at.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay.